everybody, and welcome to this week's episode. My name is Patrick Urban. I'm a photographer, mainly focusing on nature and landscapes, and I just wanted to do a quick update of what's happening in my world, as I don't really have a vlog video per se this week, so let's get into it. By the way, you probably saw me cooking some chicken soup and making some chaga. Chicken soup is for the soul, chaga is for the mind to stay awake. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick update video because there's a couple of things that have happened over the past couple of weeks since I've released my last vlog, and I wanted to do a quick little update of what's been going on in my world of photography, and going through the motions of learning how to navigate the world of photography and business as well. So the first thing that happened at the start of the month was that I've been looking at my finances, and I wanted to save it. The initial thought was to save a little bit of money, and so I ended up taking down my website. Now on my website I've had a page purely designed for transferring my thoughts onto a written form, in order to kind of note down the things that I've learned over the past week or two or month, depending on how often the update comes out. And I thought I will continue that tradition, except I will make it in a video format. And so this is called What I've Learned. Another reason why I wanted to kind of get away from Squarespace was that I thought that Squarespace is a little bit limiting, and I had a specific vision of what I wanted my website to be. I almost got there, but I found some aspects of Squarespace uncustomizable enough, and I wanted to. I think when I go back to having a website in the future, I will try and learn, and I'm in a process right now of learning WordPress. And the easiest way to do that is, of course, YouTube. I mean, there's so many tutorials out there that it's just super easy. I've run into a few years back, I've tried having a WordPress site, but I didn't really research enough kind of tutorials on how to design the site, and I ran into many problems, and I never ended up finalizing that site because I found it just too, like, the learning curve was just too steep. My second update is that I've started an Etsy store. I thought I'll give it a shot, and like they say, it's best to diversify your kind of income. So I'm going to give it a shot and try myself at running an Etsy store. And you might think, oh, okay, well, you just send the print to a lab and then there's nothing handmade. Etsy's usually for like handmade items, but what I've started doing is actually I started building my own frames. So I'm not sure if you've watched my Instagram story. But I started making my own prints, my own frames, and what I really like about making my own stuff is that you can kind of add a little bit more character, your own kind of touch. Like, there's a little knot, and I try and pick out the woods that actually have a little bit of character to them and kind of look kind of unique. They don't look very stock standard. And behind that I started using maple veneer, and I might try and play with darkening the color outside and then lightening the inside, and I can have my own shapes, and then I get a piece of glass cut, and yeah, I'm kind of experimenting right now with a professional printing lab, and I ordered some samples, the free samples from a professional print lab, in order to select the right types of paper to fit each print. So I think they're due to come. I actually got an email today that they've arrived, but they're nowhere to be seen. So I presume they'll get here tomorrow. So I'll get some samples, and I'll get to see whether the prints that I submitted for the test samples actually have the right brightness and colors and stuff. And then I'll start adding more and more stock to my Etsy store. So there's that. Number 3 update is that I started looking into submitting stock photography. Now that that subject is a little bit unknown to me. I haven't really tried it. I only got as far as just starting a bunch of accounts on a couple of websites. Nothing huge, but I'm trying to do little bit by little bit. I only have limited time outside of my daytime job, so but I find making my own prints and running an Etsy store, like at least the first so far I've only done it for a couple of weeks, but I find it way more fun than trying to submit loads and loads of photos to to several stock photography websites, and I feel like printing your own stuff is way more satisfying than submitting thousands of photos to a stock website. So there's that. So finally, I wanted to end with 4 different podcasts that I listen to as a photographer that I find really useful to from various aspects. So initially, first podcast I started listening to was the Chase Jarvis live show, I think it's called. Let me just see. The Chase Jarvis live show. Yeah, he has a podcast that initially started with the series on YouTube, but then he started doing a little bit of audio as well. And it's super awesome for like getting inspiration for creativity and learning a bunch of hacks and getting inspired and learning how to like take care of yourself and your body. It's a good starting point for podcasts. And then I kind of, after I've gone through all the Chase Jarvis live episodes about over a year ago now, I got into the Tim Ferris show, which is an insane podcast. He's done, how many episodes has he done? He's done over 250 episodes where he interviews top performers, athletes, actors, comedians, movie producers, directors, journalists, psychologists, you name it, whatever you want, chess prodigies, and he's very good at deconstructing the ways they learn and how they went through their life, and he puts together their commonalities and finds patterns in their ways of thinking and looks at the ways they've achieved what they have achieved and like how they get inspired and that kind of stuff. So it's totally an awesome podcast, and if you haven't heard of it, I don't know whether you have been living under a rock or something, but I definitely urge you to check it out. It's a must. The next podcast that I listen to is kind of from the social media marketing guru GaryVee, and that's also another podcast it's worth listening to in order to learn a whole bunch of stuff about like modern day social media and marketing and branding. He's insane. The guy just knows so much. He started by running his parents' wine store, then he made his own marketing and media agency, and puts out so much content around the web that it's incredible. Now the final podcast that I listen to is the YouTube Creators Hub, and that's really cool about learning about the nitty-gritty of YouTubing. what's his name? Dusty Porter. Yeah, Dusty Porter interviews a bunch of guests. In every episode he interviews a guest that is a YouTuber and kind of deconstruct what's been working for them, how they go about YouTube and how they got their audiences, and it's a good way to learn about what you should do in order to improve your chances at being a YouTuber. So that's another podcast that's worth looking at as a YouTuber. I guess if you're not a YouTuber but you're still a photographer, you don't need to know that. But yeah, here's my 4, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed this whole video. Just a quick update of what's been happening. I apologize that we're not out in the field, but my last photo shoot when I went actually snowshoeing, that's what I forgot about. I went snowshoeing. I might just
as Beggars would say, a warm drink boosts your morale. Yep, morale straight up through the roof. When all I do is pour black
I did a whole photo shoot. We've had so much snow up in the mountains here that I rented some snowshoes and went up into the mountains and walked around the forest and photographed the snow. It was incredible. It was like coming down with snow. So some photographs that were kind of wider shots, and they had quite a bit of distance between the camera and the far end infinity subject. Those shots didn't work because the streams of snow would kind of interrupt the photo, but the more intimate shots, I got some couple of nice shots, so I hope you get to see them right now. I kind of wanted to go out there without kind of vlogging and talking about it. I wanted to just be alone with nature, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, I did a little bit of story, but then I could just keep on going and not really focus on what I have to say and what B-roll I have to shoot and all that. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little update, and I hope you enjoyed the for podcast. I definitely urge you to check them out because they're worth their money in gold, even though they're free. And yeah, I hope you like this. Please like this video, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to my channel for more content. I'm trying to kind of increase my frequency and posting. But anyway, I hope you have a good day, night, morning, wherever you are, and until next time.